Today we continue with lesson 5 for functions. The question is, we are given a function labeled f of x to be x squared minus 9 over x minus 3 multiplied by x plus 4. This is the function that is given to us. But the first part is to find the image of minus 1. To find the image of minus 1. If you have f of x to be 2x minus 3, and we choose certain values of x, let's say minus 1, 0, 2, minus 1, 0, 1, or let me just extend it to 2. Certain values of x. Okay. Because of certain values of x in a set, we can call this one domain. Set of values of x. Domain. Now, if this minus 1 is used to replace x here, there will be 2 times minus 1 minus 3. 2 times minus 1 is negative 2. Negative 2, negative 3 is negative 5. We use x to replace x. What is the outcomes? Minus 5, negative 5. So what we use is what we call the elements. And what we get after is our image. This is not the only element we have in the store. So this store, this set is what we call the domain. So here is the domain containing certain values of x we called elements, s for plural. So if you substitute 0, it will be 2 times 0. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. This is also another image. I hope it is clear. If you use 1, we use first minus 1, later we use 0 to get this. If we use 1, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3, minus 1, this is also another image. So the values we use to substitute, they are the inputs we call the elements. The set is the domain. For each one we substitute, we get an output we call the image. And this image, if you put them together, you will get a range. I hope it's clear. All right. So the first part here is that find the image of minus 1. So this is no longer the function. This is now the function. With this function, okay, for example, this one, when we substituted minus 1, we get minus 5. So it's like the image of minus 1 is minus 5. The image of 0 is minus 3. The image of 1 is minus 1. So for this one, what is the image of minus 1? So if you are finding an image, they will always give you an element, a value you use to substitute x. Okay, so A want to find the image of minus 1. Grammatically, this is not the image of minus 1, meaning if you use minus 1, what will you get? So we say f of minus 1. So for wherever we see x, we write minus 1. For this x, we say minus 1. But writing it this way is wrong. It has to be like this because x contains minus 1. Without the bracket, it's like the square is only affecting the 1. Minus 9. So here is x is minus 1, then minus 3. X is minus 1 plus 4. So minus 1 squared is 1, negative 9. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. Minus 1 plus 4 is plus 3. So this will give us negative 8 over this times this negative 12. This takes away this. 4 is 2, 4 is 3. So we have 2 over 3. This is the image. Why is it called the image? Because it is the result we get after the input, after the element minus 1. I hope this one is clear. It's like you are standing in front of a mirror. You are the element. Yeah. So what you see when you stand in front is the image. So most times you will see, in fact, what you see in the mirror, of course, we call them images, the image. Okay. So this is the A part of the question. We are going for the B part. The B part, the element, you see, the image of minus 1. They will not tell you that the image of the element minus 1. You use the element to get the image. Use the input to get the output. So this is the opposite. Now, the element of the domain whose image is 0. You see, so the image is 0. What do we want now? We want the element. We substituted minus 1 to get what? What did we get? Something like 2 over 3, if I can still remember. We substituted minus 1 to get this. So we use the element to get the image. Now they give us the image, we want the element. So finding the element whose image is 0 is like finding the value of x you will substitute here in order to get 0. So what do? We say x squared minus 9 over x minus 3, x plus 4 equal to 0. In a nutshell, you need the image, they will give you the element. You substitute the element to get the image. You need the element, they will give you the image. What do? You equate the function to the image. Here is a function equal to the image in order to get what? In order to get the element. Whenever a fraction is equal to 0, only the numerator is equal to 0. Note this one. So we say x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. So x squared is, we move this to become 9. So we ignore the square to get the square root of 9. So this is plus or minus 3. But you have to be careful. There are cases in mathematics wherein you don't just accept results. There are cases in mathematics you don't just accept results. Now, the square root of 9 is actually plus or minus 3. Well, can we accept all the 3 results? Remember, the elements of the domain whose image is 0. Whose image is what? 0. Now, if you substitute plus 3, if you substitute plus 3, down here it will become 3 minus 3, 0. And 0 times whatsoever you get here. I know this is also 3, which is 3 plus 4, 7. And this is 3 minus 3, 0. 0 times 7, 0. The fact that the denominator will give us 0 if we accept plus 3, that will become undefined. Whenever the denominator is 0, it makes the whole function, the whole fraction undefined. And we don't want that. So therefore, we cannot accept plus 3. So what do we accept? The negative 3. Why? Because negative 3, we get negative 6. Negative 3 plus 4, we have 1. So that is, so whatsoever comes at the top, it doesn't matter whether the numerator becomes 0 or not. The most important thing, the denominator is not 0, and it's not going to make it undefined. I hope it is clear. Suppose you want to see, no problem. The numerator, x is minus 3. So minus 3 squared is 9 minus 9. 9 minus 9 is what? Is 0. 0 divided by this is 0. So you find out that the image is 0. Okay, so this is the value of the domain that will produce an image of 0. Now let's go to x. Sorry, C. I said x. C. Now we want to find the value or values of x for which there will be no image. For which there will be no image. Try to understand the basic language of functions. The value or values of x for which there will be no image for this function. So this is like what exactly the value that we substitute here that will not produce an image? You may think that any value we substitute, that will be a result. Yes, that will be a result, but some results are conditional. Note that in all cases, we don't want the denominator to become zero. Once the denominator is zero, the function becomes undefined. So if you are thinking that any value we substitute, there will be a result, you are right. But not every result is accepted. Which results are not accepted? The ones with denominator of zero. So the fact that the concern, the condition is for the denominator not to be zero, will take the denominator and equate it to zero. So you say x minus 3, x plus 4 is equal to 0. There are two things you need to understand about fractions. One, whenever the denominator is 0, the fraction will become undefined. Whenever the denominator is 0, the fraction is undefined, the function is undefined. We don't want that one. And whenever the function or the fraction is equal to 0, only the denominator is equal to 0. So now we continue. So this equal to 0, this equal to 0. X minus 3 is 0, x plus 4 is 0. X is positive 3, x is negative 3. So therefore, 4. Therefore, 3 and negative 4, they are the only values that if we substitute them, there will be no image. If you want to see, let's try 3. Let's try 3 for x. 3 minus 3, 0. Let us don't even bother to substitute here. 0 times whatsoever is 0. So once the denominator is 0, the function becomes undefined, and which we are against. We don't want that. What if x is minus 4? Minus 4 for x, minus 4 plus 4 is 0. 0 times whatsoever is 0. So these are the only values that will not give us. They will give us results, but that result, we don't want it because the function will be undefined. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to follow, like, share, and comment. See you in my next video.